Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Love Storyteller Tarot. My name is Jeanette and this is going to be the new moon reading on the 7th of November 2018 in Scorpio. And I just want to say that before I go into that, so I should be putting this out, when is it? The 24th of October is that full moon. So yeah, roughly the same time. I'd have, maybe they're already out. They will be out, sorry, on the 23rd of November. I've done the 23rd of October. I've done the November monthly readings. So please check that out. It's hard when you're having to do it in advance and then you get all messed up with the dates and wondering where you are. It's still October, but I did the November readings. But yeah, so I've done it for each sun sign, and then it will cover obviously the moon and rising signs as well. So check them out. Right, so we've got this new moon in Scorpio. We've got this Venus retrograde, which will be coming to an end, I believe, I think November 16th, and that was in Scorpio. And then now I need to check this on the Astrology King. It says for the Mercury retrograde, it's November 16th to December 6th. That's also in Scorpio. Well, it starts off in 27 degrees Scorpio to the 13 degrees Sagittarius. So Scorpio's having its say in that one as well. So it's a lot of Scorpio energy. And I think that full moon in Taurus was about maybe unexpected love. This one's about maybe saying sorry, apologising and moving on. But we'll see what the cards say also. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so it'll be Venus retrograde will be ending 16th, and that will be, but I think you still getting your shadow phase in that, and then Mercury starts, and then you still get your shadow phase in that as well. So it's a couple of weeks before and a couple of weeks after. So there we go. Thank you to those who do like, share and subscribe, and I do really appreciate it. So let's have a look, see how we're going to navigate our love relationships during this new moon in Scorpio. So new moons are all about, as you know by now, new beginnings. And put my glasses on properly. Well, it's all about partnership. And the Two of Wands for me anyway is very much about business partnerships, or like spiritual partnerships, because it can like represent like your partnership with the divine, love, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, very much about twos are about partnership. And you know, he's looking out, and because he's carrying the world in his one hand, he's thinking about, well, what's out there, you know, what's out there. Okay, I've come so far, but how can I develop, because it's personal development also, you know, spiritual development. How can I develop and grow as a person? It's very much around career. The ones around career, creativity, projects. So it looks like there's some sort of business partnership that might be on the cards around this time. Yeah, because maybe there has been, or maybe there was, that if you're reading it from the past, there was an opportunity for a business partnership, because maybe you or somebody else didn't take it, then you know, it looks as though financially things can be a bit tight, because you've got the Five of Coins here, and that can even be down to your relationship, like with the divine, and trusting in that you know, you're going to be provided for, but on a mundane level it would be to do with your careers. But yeah, all this, again, all this business partnership is causing some problems financially, and you know, there seems to be a lack here. But then that can happen when if you first start a business. They say it takes a good 2 years before, you know, to tell whether you're going to succeed or not. So you know, it can be representing that as well. But you know, there is the snowdrop there, so there is life there. So if you are going through a hard time or a difficult time, or your partner, or you know, whoever's important to you, to do with career or business, you know, this could be waiting on funds, a bank loan, etc. Because there's restrictions. 5 can be restrictive because it needs to break out into the 6, and you know, the 4 that comes before it is about somebody holding on too tightly, but then if you're saving, that's a good thing. You know, these energies are neutral. It depends how you use them. If you're needing to save, then the 4 is a good one to see. But if it's, you know, if you're holding on too tightly to something, then maybe you get the 5, because something can't flow, you know, you can't flow. So if you gather and don't let things flow, especially with the energies of the universe, you know, the law of attraction, that sort of thing, everything's energy, then it's got to be flowing, what's coming in, going out, and so that it can keep flowing, so that the energy is there, you don't become stagnant. But it looks like that there is some financial burdens or worries around this new moon, to do with this creative project, or change in direction. 2s can be change as well, and it's, well, this is somebody on defense. The Page of Swords is communication, but somebody like in their immaturity phase of, so wouldn't know how to communicate properly, so it might just like come out, it might be sharp, it might be, because this is like being on defense and getting ready to say something. So it looks like somebody's going to be saying something, because pages are messengers, and being the swords, you know, it's very much about communication around this situation. So looks like, you know, he's getting ready to say something, or she, not happy about the situation. Yeah, because we've got regret and sorrow and sadness, you know, around this. So either something happened to do with some business partnership, or because there is, you know, emotional upset and regret, a loss of some kind, or there has been in the past, and it's like holding on to it, because it's the past, holding on to it, when maybe you're needing to be letting it go. Because I know when I was doing shuffling the fairy cards, I should have left it out. One fell on the floor, and it was the let go card, and it feels like there's a need to let go. And I think the Astrology King said in his description, what was it? It was about saying sorry and then moving on, which is the same sort of thing, you know, saying sorry and then moving on, because this is very much about regretting something to do with this. Two of Wands to do with this, because it's directly underneath. So, and there seems to be, you know, either tangible results of, because this is all about lack, and we've got 2 5s here, and with regret, you know, it can play havoc on your thoughts, and then you experience, because this is this can be like poverty consciousness, and it's beliefs, and not believing that you can make it, that you can do it, or maybe your partner if you're in a relationship, or your potential partner, maybe it's something they're going through, whether male or female. But we do have 2 5s here, and then the immaturity of the Page of Swords. But the heart of the matter, yeah, it's definitely to do with work. So it's either your partner, if you're in one, it's all around, this is all around working hard, being diligent, because she's, you know, she's got this coin right up close to her eye and having to inspect it, and you know, okay, it's a woman on here, but it's male or female, you know, she's got a light, so she's working into the night, having to work into the night. And there's a book there, so following some sort of formula or rules, but yeah, we do have the skull on there, which is about, you know, that death card, which is death and transformation, but yeah, very much working hard, due diligence, and paying attention to detail, and having to work really hard, maybe to gain something back again, because of the 5s either side of this card, one above, and there's some form of regret anyway. So that, I don't know, it can be different because there's so many people to read for, but it is around, you know, your skills and your talents, and you know, what you do maybe for a living, or not necessarily, well, it can be with the 8 of, because that's like an apprenticeship card also, or you've learned so much, you know, this can be a boredom card as well, as in you've learned what you've needed to learn, because there's 8 coins on there, and so you can get a bit restless, and maybe you know, the magician within is stirring things up, because he's all about magic and you know, development and your personal power. So this is all around your personal power. So if there is a job that's draining you, and you know, draining your ability to manifest, because this is very much about the manifestation card, or your partner, or your potential partner, it could be what they're going through. But yeah, this is all about using your skills and talents to get maybe out of this situation, so that you can change things, or certainly in the future, because it sits in the future. It's the only major arcana that we've got here. Oh, we've got another one now. So yeah, this is all about ambition, being ambitious, being in charge of your life, and knowing where it is that you want to go. It's like the willpower. It's like drive. You know, which direction do you want to go, really? But you know, be in charge of that. Don't let others be in charge of it. You be in charge of it. But clearly there's been some sort of disappointment and regret regarding, because it's the ambitious card, this is the career card, some sort of partnership, in the past. Now this can be way back. It doesn't necessarily have to be like now, but it can be way back. And this is all about, you know, not being torn in two different directions, because if you're torn in two different directions, then you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on things, especially where it's to do with, you know, career and business, and then, you know, you would get your upset. Or you can be that you're too ambitious. You know, these energies are neutral, so you can either be too much or not enough, and only you know that. And you know, if you're not ambitious enough, then maybe you need to be tapping into that, and that's what the Magician would be saying. You know, but he is a trickster, but I'd see that more as in reverse. If he was in reverse, something might be, you know, tricking you down a path, and you need to wake up and listen, and, you know, so that you don't go down the wrong path, because this is all about number 7. So it's movement. You know, it represents on a mundane level travel, and you know, it represents transport, car. It usually comes up, you know, if your car needs something doing to your car. But there seems to be some sort of regret and remorse there on an emotional level, to do with work. And someone's not seeing something clearly. You know, this is like the self-imprisoned card via your thoughts, and just this certain thought repeating over and over and over again, and then before you know it, you know, you feel trapped in a situation. And it's linked to, if you look at the cards, it's linked to the 8 of coins, because they're both 8s. So it's somewhat around work, having to work hard, or your partner, because of lack of funds around this new moon, and that will then go through to the following new moon in December. So it might be that's just for that month, but that cycle, depending what the full moon brings, because that's like completion. But it's all about new beginnings. So, you know, maybe you need to be asking yourself, or your loved one needs to be asking themselves, what other skills and talents do I have? And maybe it's about breaking away, not directly. Maybe for some you did that and went straight into a partnership. But this partnership seemed to cause problems, and maybe this time, instead of being scared of it, you just need to be more, you know, do your due diligence. You've got to be very, very wise, and you've got to use, there's other skills and talents that you can use. This is like following the, I mean, I watch David Icke, so I'm very much about what he puts out into the world, because I don't have time to research like he does. But you know, it's like, it's the 40 hours, 40 hour a week for 40 years, something to do with your pension. Well, it's all a load of rubbish, and you know, you're just slogging your guts out. You're just a number. And yet they put people down who do try to start small businesses, because that's very much about small businesses, because it's individuality, isn't it? But that's the way we're heading. And I got so pissed off yesterday when I went into a supermarket, because it's the only place I can get this certain product from, and I went to pay. It was just this one thing. I went to pay a self-service, and there were 6 there, and all of them had card only on. There was only one with cash. And it's true what he says, you know, they're trying to it's going to be a cashless world. And anyway, it just made me mad, and I'll just get on my soapbox, and that's just getting into other things. But yeah, so that's what I'm sensing and feeling, is that, you know, that 9 to 5 job, which isn't 9 to 5 anymore, and you know, you're working hard and slogging your guts out. You've got to be creative. There's other ways, and yeah, you might have to take on you know, use your skills and talents in a different arena, but you can do it slowly. It doesn't have to be a sharp break, and then you can do it slowly and start building slowly like that, because I do believe apprenticeships will be coming back, and not so much of this university. It's like the sheep just following, isn't it? It's instead of people being a leader, and small businesses are people being leaders in their own little world, and you know, and it's squashed all the time. There's not a lot of help out there, but I feel that's what it is. Someone's like exhausted and got to the point where you know, because of the 5 of Cups next to it, there's got to be change. There's got to be something, and the new moon is a great time to look at your different skills and talents. So ask people around you, or like I said, if it's your partner that's going through it, give them feedback. You know, you're a great organizer, or whatever it is, so that, you know, because there's some form of message or communication to do with this that's going to upset the apple cart. But this is, again, a self-imposed prism because of the thoughts, and we get locked into beliefs and patterns of, well, you know, we just can't get out of it. So maybe it's a cycle, and then you're in it, and then you get out of it, and then you're back in it again. And maybe it's that sort of cycle because of the, you know, the consciousness part of it, or the subconscious part of it, that keeps doing this and brings it back round to, you know. And then there can be so many arguments when it's to do with finances, but yeah, very much both related. I think this is because it's what's at the heart of the matter, so this affects everything in your environment. So the key is on here, so we'll see what the other cards say when but yeah, to do with ambition and willpower, and well, obviously not feeling that because of all the swords that she feels trapped. But you know, this person is not trapped. All they literally is very loosely bound. Like I said, it's the thought process that keeps one trapped, because you don't want to see something, because either something's comfortable but not fulfilling, comfortable but not fulfilling, and there needs to be a change. The magician within you, because it's all about confidence. It's the solar plexus, it's the you know, 3rd chakra. It's all about confidence, your personal power. This is all about your personal power, and we are given skills and talents so that we don't need to. That's just the mind playing tricks, because it wants to keep you small, or your partner small, and you need to start listening more to what your gut instincts, your heart's saying. But this is feeling trapped, and it's to do with a relationship, because we've got the 2 of Cups here, and this is very much the soulmate card, or the, you know, a strong bond, especially with the Lovers cards there as well. But somebody's not wanting to see something, whether it's the female or the masculine, regarding the relationship. But you do have, if you read it this way, you do have your personal power to have this, to have what it is that you need. So it's affecting, because you've got the two twos again, cornering. And like I said, partnership, but maybe it's for some then it could be a work partnership and a love partnership, because a lot of couples do work together, or that's what you're needing to do. If you're not doing it, maybe that's what you're needing to do, instead of this Eight of Coins, because you've got the Magician there, and the Magician is one, which is, even though it's the second card, but the Magician is one, which is about leadership. But there's, like I said, there's been some sort of upset, maybe to do with a business partnership, but maybe it's both. You need the both of it. What else is it wanting to say? Oh, there you go. Overall message. I did see, I try not to see, but I did see what else was going on under there. And because of the swords, and what was it saying? Having to say sorry, and then let go, and because we've got the Page of Swords, which is about communication, but like the pages are young, or it can be like immature, not being diplomatic, not knowing how to say something, you know, and somebody on defense in that sense. And then you'd have to use your skills and talents to learn to communicate differently, which is the Ace of Swords, regarding a relationship, you know, because it's all down to communication. If you haven't got that, which I know, if you haven't got that, then there's really no point. How can you go any further? But yes, so it's a new beginning. The overall energy is because there's a new beginning, in a new way of seeing something, a new concept, a new idea. It is the new moon. So, you know, be aware of your thoughts around this time, because a new idea might pop into your mind that, you know, gets you out of this, because it's very dark, that card, and who wants to be working late into the night, things like that, when maybe there's, you know, your guides or the universe is trying to guide you somewhere different, that's more suitable for you. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a new idea, a new concept, new thinking, very much new thinking, new thoughts, not repeating. So that would be this Scorpio energy, you know, and that Venus retrograde should really have been clearing it out, and but trust the idea, because it will free you. It is the mental energy, even though Scorpio is the water sign. It's very intense energy. It's got to be, it's the psychological sign, and this is very much about psychological. And know, you know, you do have the power to free yourself, or your partner has the power to free themselves, whoever it might be affecting. But I did see also the Knight of Swords here, which comes under Gemini. It's very much that double-edged sword, you know. I can't remember the story, but it's the twin brothers or something. But anyway, I won't go into that. But this is all about, you know, sticking up for yourself, saying something. So it could be, you know, if you're working for somebody else, or your partner's working for somebody else, and you know you're just not getting the bonus or whatever it is, and so obviously that then puts somebody on defense and angry, because their skills are not being recognized, but that's very much about a lack of funds. and he's definitely about, like, you know, you need to say something, you need to definitely come up with a new idea or come up with a new concept. And you know, it is connected with a relationship, because you've got the Two of Cups there, you've got love there, but you've also got a business partnership there. I don't normally pull two, but I saw that underneath. But let's see what the fortune telling cards want to say for this new moon in Scorpio. But you know, that would then affect the relationship. So either if somebody is in a business partnership and working all hours, and then, you know, that's going to be affecting the relationship. So let's have a look. Oh, this fox just keeps coming up, even in the personal readings, it just seems to appear. So it works either way. It's very much a, you know, a fox camouflages. It conceals itself, obviously to be protected, because it was always chased, not so much now because they brought in new laws, but yeah, it conceals itself, so therefore it becomes mysterious, and that's why it's known to be crafty and cunning. And the first card usually is about the person having the reading, or obviously watching the reading. So there is some need to be this way, and there's plenty of books to read up on animal totems and the fox. The fox actually is, if I'm correct, in my book, it comes under the magician. So, you know, because it's like a trickster, I think. Don't quote me on it, but I think. Yeah, it is like a trickster, because it's magic, isn't it? You just, that's why it's the manifester card. It's poof, it's just there like that, just like magic. So maybe for those who are single, maybe a relationship, you know, comes out like that, because I think that's also Mercury, and we will be, but that will be, what date did I say that was? Mercury was November 16th, yeah, so that can be in that cycle from November 7th to December, whatever the next new moon is. So that, again, it's about communication, Mercury is, and knowing how to say something, because you can rub somebody up the wrong way by putting yourself in a defense position, and then, you know, energy doesn't lie, so then you can most people can read, or they'll say things like, you walked into a room and or you can cut the atmosphere with a knife. Well, you know, same difference. You can. People know how to read energy. We're all intuitive at the end of the day, but there's something, either you need to be cunning and crafty, or somebody else is being, or somebody was, if you want to take it as the past. Heart of the matter. But Scorpio is having its say. And I was looking in my journal, and it was saying about the Venus retrograde, which I believe that was in Scorpio, I think was 8 years ago. And for some reason, look at that, I've not picked that journal up, and then I picked that one up, and there it is, the Venus retrograde in Scorpio again, which is 2009, I think it was. It said in my journal, and I'm like, and then I start to read what I wrote in it, and okay, so whatever I wrote about then in 2009, and now with this Venus retrograde in Scorpio, those energies from way back then are now playing out now. That's what I mean. Some of these things, cycles can be like decades. It can be years and decades, and and you know, you write these things down, and then it can be absolutely years before it even shows itself, and you can't get caught up in time, because you know, I stopped having readings because when I first had them, it was when I was a lot younger, and I had quite a few, but then I stopped having them because I didn't want to live my life by them in that sense. I use it now in a different way, more on a psychological way and a cycle way and empowerment way, and what you can do to empower your own life and not give your power away. So it's totally different energies now. Heart of the matter. So there is some news coming to change this, and remember, this is the overall energy, which is the Ace of Swords, that new way of thinking, or to get you out of feeling trapped, or your partner, whatever, or this other person. So there is some news on the way that's going to bring some light, and this can be like a knight in shining armor, but it's a friendly person, a kind person, someone who speaks well about others, and so quite a gentle person, and usually brings good news, unless the other cards are like really contradictory. But there's definitely news on its way about this situation, or around this new moon and in around the environment. Yeah, this, and that was the first thing I thought of when I saw this card. You know, it is that, because this is all about thoughts. It is that poverty consciousness, you know, that has been brought through from probably past lives, even this lifetime. And like I said, I can't remember which video I said, but you know, I used to work at a clinic and was dealing with men, well, and women, but multimillionaires, as in loaded, and yet they're coming in with bad backs, and the back is about support, because it's their consciousness, and so scared to lose it, because then that takes them back to their identity. Who will they be without that sort of money, etc. So it is, you know, it's all around lack, and this card's all about thoughts, you know, bright or grey. It's all around thoughts, especially with this Eight of Swords here, that then imprisons you. So if you're thinking negative thoughts around, you know, work, and not having enough money, and not being happy and fulfilled at what you're doing, then, you know, you need to change the present so you can embrace the future. And that's very much what this card is, and really confirming with that on there, and gives you the tools. Yeah, see, there's a lot of mental energy around this new moon, a lot, but luckily we've got the Ace of Swords here, and it looks like we're going to need the Knight of Swords energy, as in, well, I'm not a victim, I'm not allowing anybody to dictate to me my hours of work, and I'm not going to be making money for other people. I'm going to maybe be exploring to see what other skills and talents I've got, and start making an exit plan for the future, so that, you know, and then that takes away your powerlessness, using this sort of energy, this Knight of Swords, which is, you know, guns blazing, so to speak, but it's very much the energy of sticking up for yourself. Well, my ideas are good, I want to raise this, you know, I deserve better. Yes, that's been my thinking so far, or your partner. Yes, I've been thinking that way so far, but now, no, now it needs to change. Yeah, because of the 5 Cups also, but yeah, needing to use this Knight of Swords energy. because this is what's, because the mouse is something that burrows away and nibbles away at something or someone. Well, it's being on defense and not speaking your truth as to why that card's on there, because he has the sword of truth there, but he's using it in a defense way, which is why the mouse is on there. But that's stealing something away from you as a person, or your partner as a person, and you've got to use your sword of truth, so being true to yourself and your skills and your talents. And because all of this is going to be affecting your love life. This is what's going to be important around this time, and this is like seeing things from a higher perspective, so that you don't come down to raise, have an argument for no reason at all, which causes them problems in the relationship. You need to be more skillful at that, is what that card on there is saying, because that's negotiations. So you're wanting or needing, or your partner's needing to negotiate something, and this could be happening for a potential partner as well. And yeah, you might not know it, but this is what they might be going through, and maybe they can't meet you yet because this is what they've got to go through, or it could be you going through this. But this is very much about negotiations, and again, your thoughts can be that way, or if that does represent a child, they can represent children as well. But there seems to be some form of negotiation that's needed. Yeah, this was round an opportunity, which was what I was picking up, this partnership, and somebody either being crafty or a piece of flipping shit about it. And because we got the Five of Cups there, which is emotional hurt and upset, because we've got the moon on there, so that could have happened by the full moon, but this is all about opportunity, you see, and good fortune. But we've got the Five of Cups, which is all about upset and regret, and with the fox there, that's no wonder we've got the Five of Cups there, because we've got the fox there, and that's saying maybe a proposal, a business partnership. But don't let that experience, or don't let that past affect you now, because we've got the Ace of Swords here, so don't let that. Just be more discerning about who you do business with, or your partner, who they do business with, because this is like a trickery and a proposal, and probably better not to agree to something that's been offered you. And clearly now we're getting the picture, but that can show the past, or it could be coming up now, but at least you've got some sort of heads up if that's the case. And this is around, the Magician is around the home, your home life, because this is about having power. So having power around your home life or property. So this could even be like, this is like the Midas touch, the Magician. If there's a home that you're wanting, it is in the future. If there's a home that you're wanting, then you have that power to bring this about. What do they say? Say it, which is affirmation, see it, which is visualization, and feel it is the formula, isn't it, to manifest what it is your heart's desire is. But they're saying you have all the skills and talents to either get this home that you want, or if this is property and you want to do you know, estate agents or anything to do with property, buying, selling, or renting, you know, anything like that, if that's where your skills and talents lay, that, you know, property is the best place to, because your pensions, what I was saying earlier, your pensions aren't going to get you. It's property that will get you what you need. Right. So yeah, that's to do with a job. So like I said, it could be to do with within a company also, the creative, the two. There's still a partnership with the company that you'd work for. So, but yeah, this is very much about a social gathering. But because it's the 7, it's the Chariot, which is all about, you know, willpower and ambition and drive. Then that would make sense that it's to do with the job, and maybe a very sociable job where you have to network and go out and meet people. Oh goodness, how are we doing? This time's just flying by. But yeah, see, the road is about, this is about a short trip, you know, no matter what it is, it's an important one, and that could be just literally go from one town to another, but it's to do with work, and that might break this pattern. But yeah, there's definitely a new pathway that needs to be, you know, and open up, to free yourself from this feeling trapped. Definitely a new road, and this comes, you know, when there's change. That can be a new job, because we've got the work card there, and there is news on the way that you might need to travel somewhere, maybe, because we do have the Chariot there as well. Okay, so this is like somebody from your past, something older or from your past. So this could be a relationship that has gone before, or a past life love, but it'd be definitely with this, because it's the Fate card, soulmate relationship, definitely. But seeing it this way, this would be, you know, an old house, and maybe that would be renovating, doing a property up, because it's an old house, an old property, and it would be renovating. But definitely to do with this couple, this partnership. Okay, let's have a look then. Let's just get some clarity on the heart of the matter, because that's all we've got time for. This 8 of Coins. Obviously the private reading would go into more of the cards, yeah, because that's like, that's waiting for harvest time, and you know, but this is missed opportunities, or feeling that there's missed opportunities, and it's just not, you know, because it's like it's 7 before the 8, like I said. Yeah, and you've got the 9 of Swords, which is worry. So it seems a lot about work. So it's not, if it's not you, it's your partner, but then it will be affecting you in some shape or form, because this is somebody who can't sleep at night because they feel they've missed an opportunity. But you know, everything happens for a reason. Maybe it wasn't as great opportunity as you thought it was going to be, but there you go, you have the Ace of Swords that shows up there. And that's like the dark is before the dawn. Very much a vampire energy, somebody stealing your energy and feeling exhausted, hence why on the others she's led on the bed. But it's all to do with, because that's harvest coming in and making things better, but in reverse that isn't. It's not showing up. But there you go, you've got victory. You can even see the laurel wreath around there. Very much victory. You are going to overcome this, or your partner's going to overcome this, or your potential partner is going to overcome this, because it shows up here, and that's the overall message. But they might need to get in the stirrups of the Knight of Swords and you know, stick up for themselves and say what they need to say, or say my ideas are good during this period of time. So let's see what the romance angels want to say. Most important message for this Scorpio. The Scorpio, you see, is intense. It's all psychological stuff. We've got a lot of swords here. It's a lot of clearing out, but you know, they are, whoever this is, and this eight of you are clearing it out, because that's like the dark is before the dawn, and well, you go to the 10 and it's like ruin, but you don't have to get there, because the 8 before, you know, it's self-imposed. Choose another path. Choose another path. Right, let's see what the romance angels want to say. Separation. Right, so they're saying separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So for people that are in a relationship, I'm just going to read that one to see how it's fitting in with this, because it can be like if you've got to go to work, if you've got to take a new path and go to work, it can be that you would be separated. You might need to be separated for a certain amount of time to sort this out. But let's see what it says. The romance angels are helping you during this period of separation from your partner. This card comes to you as an indication of angelic support as you spend time away from each other. While you're apart, the angels can help you fill your hours with healthy activities, which can help your present or future relationships, because there is the Two of Cups in the future. This card may indicate a temporary period of aloneness, such as while your partner is travelling for business, and that's very much that. Or a time in your life when you're single and preparing for your next relationship. It can also mean a marital separation or divorce, but not really seeing that in the cards. Call upon the angels for support and guidance during this transition. They can help you discover the deep healing to be mined as you spend time alone, which prepares you for the next part of your relationship journey. And that's whether you're single and waiting for somebody, or whether you're in a relationship. So you need some time, alone time, or time apart is what the romance angels are saying. Let's have a look, see what the healing angels want to say. Just feel we need these this time. Oh, there you go. That's what I was saying. There we go. The soulmate card. This is definitely the soulmate card here. And this is like fate, and this is the outcome, fate, and you know, from the deep past or past lives. But it's the soulmate card, and it's just shown up now. So it can be different scenarios. You could join forces with somebody as a business partnership. You end up coming emotionally together, but you're going to know it. You know when a soulmate's crossed your path. It can be very intense, and you can even be adverse to it, like you avoid it like anything, but it happens in the end. Or they feel like a comfy pair of slippers, etc. But it's definitely, there's a soulmate in your presence around this time. Or it might be, you know, for some, if it's the case and there is a separation, it's because there's a soulmate waiting to come in. But let's have a look, see what these want to say more on a grounded level. I just love that picture, it's beautiful. Dreams coming true. So those that are, you know, have been asking for and praying for this relationship, it is coming. Dreams are coming true, and you know, you've got to believe that, and it's showing it here in the future, and this is fate leading the way and guiding it. Maybe something to do with a home or property, something to do with that, an old house. Could be any way, because you usually meet them under unusual circumstances. So, but definitely your dreams are coming true, coming to fruition, if that includes a home that you desire. Okay, I want to see what this card says, Wisdom of the Oracle. Right, we've got milk and honey in protection. Don't know them all. Not off by heart, but I don't know them all. This is all about abundance and prosperity and being in the flow of it when it's upright. So let's just have a look, see what it's saying to do with this reading in protection. A nameless unease compels you to turn to pleasure and comfort as a means to escape what's really going on. So remember that 8 of Swords down here, okay? You've got to remember that. It works in the moment, but only fleetingly. So obviously you've got to watch, you know, any a form of addictions before the feeling returns, and you need to re-up until you're exhausted, feeling worse than before. And remember this 9 of Swords on the heart of the matter here. But there is going to be a breakthrough because there's the Ace of Coins here. So it looks like some deep psychological stuff to get you back in the flow, continue struggling, or you may see the light and choose to surrender to spirit. So that would be that, the Sword of Truth. See the light and surrender to spirit. Now is the time for practicing extreme self-care. If you can do so before you engage in behaviours you'll regret later. And that's definitely that there, the Page of Swords with the mouse. That would be a behaviour you regret. And remember, there is regret in the past. You are so loved, so cared for. Feel love and compassion for yourself. Turn your troubles over to the divine for healing. That's all that counts right now. I think that's very appropriate for this reading. And let's finish with an affirmation from The Universe Has Your Back. And there you go. So the universe is saying around this new moon, the universe works fast when I'm having fun. So it's about freeing yourself and you know, taking responsibility and doing the work, and have some fun, because then the universe can work to make your dreams come true and to help you to come together with this person here. There we go. I do hope those messages help, and please like, share and subscribe and comment, and my link to my video website is underneath the video. To book a private reading, it's easy enough when you go to my website, and I'll be back here for the full moon, but check out your monthlies for November. Okay, lots of love. Namaste.